So, welcome to Jumbo IS and welcome to our lecture series called Daily MCQ Practice. In this lecture series, we cover a particular day's current affairs through a set of 4 to 5 MCQs. The idea behind this lecture series is that we want to inculcate a daily MCQ practice habit in you. Okay, you should develop this habit because it will really serve you well for your prelims examination. 4 to 5 MCQs covered on a daily basis from current affairs alone would really solidify your current affairs portion, especially for prelims examination. Okay, so make this lecture series a part of your daily routine. It should be a daily habit of yours. In fact, that's the purpose of this lecture series. Okay, let's begin today's session with question number 1. Consider the following statements regarding line of control between India and Pakistan. It was established by Karachi Agreement of 1949 after the Indo-Pak War. It runs approximately 740 kilometers from Poonch in Jammu to point NJ9842 near Siachen Glacier. The LOC is defended by two armies on the either side, whereas the international border is manned by BSF on Indian side and Pakistan Rangers on Pakistani side. So how many of the above statements are correct? Now look, India shares two types of boundaries with Pakistan, okay? Number one is line of control. Number two is international border. Okay. Now, line of control is basically a military border. It's not an internationally recognized border. The reason is that India considers POK to be a part of its own territory. Similarly, Pakistan might consider Jammu and Kashmir to be part of its own territory, right? So that is why it is just a basic understanding that the two armies would be on either side of this LOC. So it is just a military border. It's not an internationally recognized border. Other parts of the border between India and Pakistan are internationally recognized and they are called international border. Okay. Now, LOC is manned and managed by the two armies, Indian Army on Indian side and Pakistani Army on the Pakistani side. But when it comes to international border, okay, in Punjab, Rajasthan, Gujarat, okay, the international border is basically manned by border guard forces, okay. It's border security force on the Indian side and on the Pakistani side, it's Pakistani Rangers. Okay, so yes, third statement is correct. Now, how did LOC come about? You all know the conflict with respect to Jammu Kashmir region when it comes to India and Pakistan, right? In 1947, when both countries got independence, well, they both claimed Jammu, the princely state of Jammu and Kashmir. But the Maharaja of Jammu and Kashmir signed instrument of accession giving Jammu and Kashmir to India, right? Pakistanis did not like it and they sent tribal raiders into Jammu and Kashmir to capture Jammu and Kashmir territory, okay? And because of those tribal raiders, there was a warlike situation in 1948 between India and Pakistan. Okay, so these Pakistani raiders captured some territory of Jammu and Kashmir, which is today known as Pakistan occupied Kashmir, and the remaining portion was defended by the Indian Army, and that is the state of Jammu and Kashmir. Okay, in between these two territories is a line. Okay, that line was known as ceasefire line. Okay, ceasefire line. Clear? Then what happened? Then in 1971, Pakistan suffered a resounding defeat. And after their defeat, they signed Shimla Agreement with India. This ceasefire line was recognized as LOC in this Shimla Agreement. Okay. So LOC was the result of Shimla Agreement, not Karachi Agreement. Karachi Agreement of 1949 was ceasefire line. It was named LOC in Shimla Agreement of 1972, just after 1971 war. Okay, so first statement is false. Now this army starts, this LOC starts from Sangam. It's a village in Kashmir. Okay, to point NJ9842 near Siachen Glacier. So it is 740 kilometer long, but it starts from Sangam, Kashmir. Okay, because India and Pakistan's border in the Jammu region is recognized as international border by India. It's not recognized as LOC. LOC is Sangam, Kashmir to Siachen Glacier. So this statement is also false. Only one statement is correct. The answer is A. Question number 2. Consider the following statements regarding the strategic Bagram Air Base. It is the largest air base in Afghanistan, some 60 kilometers to the north of Kabul, in the strategic Parwan province. It was built by USA after their invasion of Afghanistan in 2001 to fight the Taliban. During the Soviet-Afghan War from 1979-89, Bagram airfield became a vital Soviet base. Okay. So as far as Bagram Air Base is concerned, it is the largest air base in Afghanistan and it is 60 kilometers to the north of Kabul in the strategic Parwan province. That is correct. The reason why Parwan province is strategic is because there are so many highways and tunnels that connect to different parts of Afghanistan. So if you have control of Parwan province, well, you can go to any part of Afghanistan. Okay, so first statement is correct. Now, this Bagram Air Base was built by Soviet Union or USSR in 1950s. Okay, then Soviet Union invaded Afghanistan in 1979 and from 1979 to 1989, Soviet Union used this Bagram Air Base to fight the rebels, Mujahideens. Okay, so this is also correct. It was built by USA? No. When Soviet Union withdrew from Afghanistan and when Americans came after 2001, Americans took control of this Bagram Air Base. But it was not built by Americans, it was built by Soviet Union. So this is false. 1 and 3 only, the answer is C. Question 3. Which of the following statements are correct regarding Xinjiang? It is the northwestern province of China with a significant Turkic Muslim population called Uyghurs. The separatist movement for independence of Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region of China is being led by East Turkestan Islamic Movement, ETI. Okay. So look, we all know about China. Now the northwestern province of China, it's a large province of China, is called Xinjiang. Officially, it is known as Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region of China. Okay. And in this region, the majority population is ethnic Turkish Muslims called Uyghurs. Okay, so first statement is correct. Now, there have been allegations that China has shown some high-handedness in this region and these Turkic Muslim population are not happy with Chinese regime. Therefore, some of them have rebelled against Chinese regime and they want to create a separate country, okay, out of this Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region. Now, these separatists have formed an organization called East Turkestan Islamic Movement. Okay, so this statement is also correct. By the way, Xinjiang shares its border with India's Ladakh. It shares its border with Pakistan's POK. It shares its border with Afghanistan, Turkmenistan. Okay, many Central Asian countries. Nonetheless, both these statements are correct. The answer is C. Question 4. Consider the following statements regarding Vizenjam deep water port. It is India's first transshipment port that lies just 10 nautical miles away from east-west international shipping route. It is built through public-private partnership using hybrid annuity model. Currently, Colombo, Dubai, Singapore account for 75% of India's transshipment cargo. Okay, now listen to me. There is a very famous shipping route that connects Europe with Asia. Okay, Rotterdam in Europe to Hong Kong in Asia. Okay, this is the shipping route. Now, it is a big shipping route and it is known as East-West International Shipping Route. It is through this shipping route that majority of your Asia-Europe trade takes place and it is a lot of trade. Okay. Now, on this trade route, there are many transshipment hubs or transshipment ports. Transshipment ports are those ports which are deep water ports where big ships dock, they offload their cargo, they load it on smaller ships and then send it to different countries. So for example, one such transshipment hub is Colombo. So these European ships land at Colombo, okay, offload their cargo to smaller ships, and then some ships go to India, some ships go to China, some ships go to Malaysia, and so on and so forth. So this is the significance of transshipment ports. Clear? Now, India did not have any transshipment port. That is why India's transshipment cargo used to either come from Colombo, Dubai, or Singapore. These three are transshipment ports. Okay, so third statement is correct. But now India has created its own transshipment port at Vizenjam in Kerala. Okay, so it is India's first transshipment port and it is just 10 nautical miles away from east-west international shipping route, this Rotterdam to Hong Kong route, the one of the most busiest routes. So this is correct. Now, this seaport has been built by Adani Ports in collaboration with SEZ Limited, government organization, okay, through public-private partnership. Now, the public-private partnership model that was used to build this port was design, build, finance, operate, transfer model, DBFOT model, not hybrid annuity model. So this is false, okay, and the answer is 1 and 3 only. And last, which of the following statements are correct regarding domestic institutional investors? These are institutional investors based in domestic territory and invest in domestic financial assets. The financial asset share of DIIs is almost double to what foreign portfolio investors hold in Indian stock markets. Higher share of DIIs make India more vulnerable to external exogenous shocks. Okay, now listen to me. Well, there are many investors in stock markets. Okay, when individuals like you and me invest in stock markets, well, we are called retail investors. Okay, but when big institutions like mutual funds, insurance funds, pension funds, banks, they invest in stock markets, they are known as institutional investors. Now, these institutional investors, if they are based out of India, they are called domestic institutional investors, like Indian mutual funds, Indian insurance funds, Indian banks. And if they are based out of foreign countries, well, they are called foreign institutional investors. Now, for simplicity, these foreign institutional investors are also known as foreign portfolio investors. Okay, so in Indian stock market, there are three kinds of investors: retail investors, DIIs, FIIs or FPIs. Clear? So DIIs are those institutional investors based in domestic territory and invest in domestic financial assets like shares or bonds. Absolutely correct. Now, in India, well, DIIs hold 17%, 17 point something percent of financial assets, and FPIs also hold some 17.22% of financial assets. Okay, so the financial assets held by both DII and FII are neck and neck. DIIs don't hold double the amount of foreign portfolio investors. In fact, few years back, the share of FPIs was higher than DIIs. So this is false. Now, if DII share increases, well, then it will protect India from, well, the mood of foreign investors. Okay. So if there is an external economic shock, foreign investors tend to pull out of Indian stock market, right? This happens. But if in Indian stock market, the higher share is that of DIIs, then India will not be more vulnerable. India will be protected from external shocks. So this is also false. The answer is B, 1 only. Okay, and with that, we conclude today's session. Thank you so much for watching, everyone, and I'm sure it has added value to your preparation. But it would add more value if you revise this lecture as well, because revision would really help you remember these MCQs. Now, revision would hardly take 5 to 10 minutes. You just have to look at the written detailed solutions to each and every MCQ discussed above. Now, these solutions are in our notes, and these notes are on our Telegram channel. The link to our Telegram channel is provided just below this video in the comment section. Okay? And on that note, I'll be signing off with the promise of seeing you again with another set of MCQs. Thank you, everyone.